Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So a bit of transfer rumours to give you guys an update on today is in relation to Jaeo, Felix and Bruno Fernandes as well. According to quite a few media outlets, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to wrap up a deal, for the Portuguese duo, Bruno Fernandes and Jaeo Felix as well. Potentially, in the last couple of months at least, Manchester United have been linked with Jaeo Felix as well from Benfica, as we all know as well. His performances have been very, very impressive this season for Benfica. I think he's reportedly got a buyout clause around £100 million as well. But it did reportedly say in the media, Bruno Fernandes and Jaeo Felix, would cost Manchester United around £150 million. So we are set to sign these two players as well. Jaeo Felix, I think, is predominantly an attacking midfielder, but he has been used as a winger and a striker in the past as well. He is 19 years of age, is Jaeo Felix as well, but I think quite a few teams have been interested in Jaeo Felix as well. So do you think it'd be the right solution for Manchester United? Of course, as I did say, he only broke into the Benfica first team last year as well. I think this season he scored like 14 goals, in 23 games this season for Benfica, but he's got immense talent. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well, and we do need, potentially, a couple of additions in that midfield. We do need some creativeness in that midfield. We do need someone, that can pose a threat, of course, as well. So do you think Bruno Fernandes and Jaeo Felix, would be the right, solution for Manchester United as well? So Jaeo Felix has got a buyout clause, as I did say, of around £100 million as well. But quite a few teams have been interested in Jaeo Felix. Of course, Man United scouts have been watching him on a regular basis, based on his fantastic performances this season as well. But Solskjaer's emphasising an interest, in quite a few young upcoming talents as well, of course, because we have got a host of experienced players. So Solskjaer is looking to bring some youth players to Manchester United as well. And we do know there's been a lot of talks about Bruno Fernandes as well. 24 years of age, also Portuguese as well. I think Bruno Fernandes is predominantly an attacking midfielder, so Manchester United would actually see him as a replacement for Paul Pogba as well. Quite a few teams have been monitoring an interest in Bruno Fernandes. It said City were interested. It also said that AC Milan were interested as well, but he can score goals. He can also provide assists as well. So I do think the likes of Bruno Fernandes, and Jaeo Felix, have probably got the capabilities, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years as well, because they have they have both proven themselves fantastically well in Portugal as well. But the big question is, have they got the capabilities, to produce and deliver, what they've been doing in Portugal as well. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes, I think he's got a release clause of around £90 million in his deal with Sporting Lisbon as well. I think he's got a contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023 as well. But I think this season he's scored about 28 goals reportedly. I think he's contributed about 15 or 16 assists as well. Reports came out the other week saying that reportedly, I think it did say he's interested in making a move to the Premier League. But obviously he had a lot of experience of playing in Italy when he was younger, because he's a former Sampdoria. He's also a former Udinese player as well. But yeah, definitely, we need a couple of additions in that midfield. So reportedly Solskjaer wants to wrap up deals, for the Portuguese duo Bruno Fernandes and Jaeo Felix, and reportedly they're going to cost Manchester United around £150 million as well. But obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think this summer is going to get around a £250 million spending spree as well. From Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer, because I think up to at least 6 players, could be leaving Manchester United this summer as well. Obviously, there's still some contract renewals to sort out as well. But obviously, you can see the deficiencies in the squad. You can see the areas, where we are lacking quite. And I do think we're at least 3 or 4 years, from 3 or 4 years off, from being at competitive elite level football club, as we was under Alex Ferguson as well. So I think at least in the next couple of years, our aspirations are going to be getting in that top 4 as well. It is going to be difficult for us, to attract players, to the elite level, of course, considering that we're not probably going to be in a Champions League football for next season as well. But Bruno Fernandes, as I said, very, very good player indeed. I think he'd probably blend in very, very well in our midfield, and I also think Jaeo Felix would be very, very good as well. I think the pair would be good, to be quite honest, because they're both versatile. They both can score goals. They can also provide as well, and they've proven this fantastically well. And I think Bruno Fernandes, I think now is this his second season now? Is it with Sporting Lisbon as well? So yeah, I think it'll cost Manchester United around £150 million to get Jaeo Felix and to get Bruno Fernandes as well. So there has been a lot of talks about that going on. But potentially we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is going to need backing this summer, as I did say. There's been quite, obviously we're looking to get a director of footballing, to change the structure of the club. Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer, and obviously there's been quite a few candidate names mentioned. As I said, recent reports have said that Ferdinand could be set to return to the club as a sporting director. Ferdinand's been in negotiations with Ed Woodward about this, but obviously, it would be beneficial, to get someone in, who knows about the club and all that as well. So maybe some people may think Ferdinand would be right. Maybe some people say he wouldn't be the right candidate as well. We do know a while back there was talks of Paul Mitchell, of course, who was the head of recruitment at RP Leipzig. There's been talks of Edwin van der Sar as well, who's currently CEO at Ajax. There's also been talks of Mike Phelan as well. So there has been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but obviously, want to come to an agreement, before the start of next season as well. So we've got to get a director of footballing as well. So it's very, very essential indeed. But as I did say, obviously, we've got 2 games left now. Obviously, these are 2 big games for Manchester United, of course. Potentially from our perspective, we've got to win these 2 games and hope, teams around us, do slip up, to be quite honest, which I don't see happening, to be quite honest, because, I think, if we'd have got in that top 4, it would have been an absolutely fantastic achievement, indeed, looking at the situation we was in when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, first came in, because we was 11 points behind top 4, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, first came in as well, but reflecting on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, first 3 months at the club, everything was going right, as we all know, the performances were good, the results were really good, and he was getting the best out of these players as well, and Solskjaer exceeded expectations, of course. We were defending really well in that 3-month period, we were scoring goals as well, and all the performances were really good indeed, but it just seems to have all gone wrong, since he's got the job permanently. Is it something to do with a different sort of level of pressure? I do not know. But now Solskjaer's got the job, obviously, it's a 3-year deal, and obviously his expectation levels are going to be in these 3 years, is to get Manchester United back to the powerhouse, as was under Alex Ferguson, but I think it could take quite a few years at least, to get us back, to that level, as we was under Alex Ferguson as well. I think we're at least 2 years off, from graduating to Manchester City's level as well, but potentially, we've got to get the right signings in the summer, of course, as well, and do you think £250 million is enough, to be quite honest with you? But yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be getting back to this summer as well. But for me, we've got to get the right players that have got the ability to elevate Manchester United, of course, in the next 2 to 3 years at least. And I think Bruno Fernandes and Joe Felix have got the capabilities of doing that. To kind of, I think they'll score goals for us. I think they can also provide as well. They are versatile, so that's very beneficial as well. But Solskjaer is looking to buy into our history, of course, as well. And I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even though we have been in a bad vein of form. Of course, you'll get some people saying maybe we've given Solskjaer the job too early. Maybe we should have waited till the summer, of course, to give him the contract as well. But yeah, I'm still backing him for now. I still believe he can elevate this club forward. Of course, we do know he hasn't really got a good managerial pedigree. He hasn't really got the experience, Solskjaer as well. But I still believe he can take this club forward because he does know the club inside out. Of course, he was a good player for 11 years. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, won a lot of trophies, scored a lot of goals, and he flourished under Alex Ferguson as well. But obviously, he's got the experience of the player, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he hasn't really got it as a manager, and that's what that does concern me, to be quite honest. But I will start prejudging, in the new season. If we do bad in the new season, that's when I'll start prejudging, and that's when I'll start being on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's back as well. Because even though we have been in a bad vein of form, the majority of the blame is on the players, don't get me wrong, but some of the blame, does stem from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because some of his tactics are questionable, some of his team selections are on and that, so you can blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in that aspect as well. So for me, in my opinion, I think Bruno Fernandes would be a good signing. I think Joe Felix would be a good signing as well. I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest, but I've heard, that they've been performing very well in Portugal as well. Joe Felix is only 19, Bruno Fernandes is 24 as well, so potentially like Bruno Fernandes is like 4 or 5 years older than Joe Felix as well. But yeah, we've definitely got to get a couple of additions in that midfield, of course, because obviously we do know Paul Pogba, of course, he's leaving Manchester United as well. Recent reports have basically said in relation to Paul Pogba, as I updated you earlier on today as well, saying that reportedly if Paul Pogba wants to join Real Madrid this summer, reportedly Paul Pogba will reportedly have to take a wage cut on his current wage wages reportedly, because reports are saying that Real Madrid are reportedly not willing to meet his current £290,000 a week wages. So reportedly Paul Pogba will have to take a pay cut if he is to join Real Madrid. Reports came out the other day. Reports were stemming out from Spain saying that Paul Pogba has agreed to personal terms. It also said the wages have also been agreed as well. I think it did allegedly say that he has agreed a £10 million a year deal with Real Madrid as Paul Pogba as well. But as I did currently say, he did okay in the Chelsea game, but, prior to the Chelsea game, in his last 6 or 7 games, Paul Pogba's performances have been way below par, to be quite honest. So that just potentially emphasises, that Paul Pogba, doesn't want to be at Manchester United, of course. And, he's not playing it amongst world-class players at Manchester United, Paul Pogba as well. But I think if we can get rid of him this summer, it will help us with our transition as well, because Manchester United, can get around 120 or 130 million pounds for Paul Pogba. There's still the vast of Manchester United fans, would still like it, would still like Paul Pogba to stay at the club as well. Because, he's one of the best midfielders in world football, when he's playing in the right vein and manner, of course, as well. But I think he definitely, wants to leave Manchester United. He's obviously notified his Manchester United teammates that he's intending on leaving the club this summer. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of Paul Pogba. And obviously, going back, was it 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid, so that potentially indicates that he's not planning or intending on spending the rest of his playing career in England with Manchester United as well. We do know he's 26 years of age, is Paul Pogba. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as well, but definitely, he does want to leave as well. And I think Manchester United have been in negotiations, of course, of getting him a new contract, as we all know. He's still got over 2 years left on his deal, with an option of a further year as well. There were talks a while back saying that Manchester United were willing to offer him the captain's armband on a permanent basis, to convince him to stay at the club as well. And that's another thing we've got to do as well. We've got to make a decision who's going to be the captain for Manchester United as well. I know he's probably going to Real Madrid, is Pogba, but he did get one of his best wishes, did Paul Pogba, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club, because Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho as well. And obviously there was a lot of reports going out last year saying that he was linked to Barcelona. He was linked with his former club Juventus as well, and there is still a lot of news circulating around the media. There is still a lot of news circulating around the media about that, saying that his former club Juventus are interested in re-signing him. It did say Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players, to be able to fund the move, Paul Pogba as well. But Juventus, I think, have been in negotiations with his agent Raiola as well. But now he's been at Manchester United over 3 years. Manchester United paid £89 million for him in 2016 from Juventus as well. And he's built a great relationship up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Paul Pogba, as we all currently know. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer manages the Manchester United reserve team. He watched some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop and flourish. And Paul Pogba, of course, was one of them as well. But Solskjaer still thinks he'll stay, Paul Pogba, because Solskjaer's actually spoken to Paul Pogba as well. But Solskjaer's convinced he'll be next season. But Solskjaer says obviously nothing is for granted, of course, as well. But we do know it's going to be difficult, to find a player of Paul Pogba's calibre and level. Of course, it's going to be extremely difficult indeed. Maybe Paul Pogba, maybe wants to leave because he wants to be playing to the highest level. He wants to be playing around world-class players. Obviously as well wants to be up there challenging and winning trophies. And we have at least a couple of years off doing that as well. So this is maybe why Paul Pogba wants to make the move to Real Madrid as well. So yeah, we could identify, as I said, Bruno Fernandes as the replacement for Paul Pogba as well. Obviously, we're going to need a replacement for Ander Herrera as well, because we do know that Ander Herrera, of course, is going to PSG at the end of the season when his contract expires. I think he has agreed like a 4-year deal with PSG as well as Ander Herrera. So I think now we've emphasised a couple of targets, that could potentially replace Ander Herrera at Manchester United as well. And as I did update you the other day, there was talks about Lyon's Tanguy Ndombele. I think he's a defensive midfielder. I think he can also play as a central midfielder as well, can Tanguy Ndombele. I think we'd probably see him more as a replacement for Ander Herrera than we would Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest with you. Tanguy Ndombele is 22 years of age, so he is still very, very young indeed, is Tanguy. He's still very, very young indeed. He's Tanguy Ndombele as well. Reports came out the other day saying that the Lyon president has confirmed Manchester United's interest, Manchester City's interest as well. But from Lyon's preference, reportedly they'd rather sell Tanguy Ndombele to Juventus, because I think potentially Juventus have got Pantic as well. But it did say, recent reports have said that City are preparing to put around the £60 million bidding for him. I think he's valued at around £60 or £70 million or something like that. But he is a good compassive midfielder as well. But I think it's going to be extremely difficult, for Manchester United to get him, because obviously players at that calibre, want to be in Champions League football as well. I think there was a lot of talks the last year that Manchester United were interested in Tanguy Ndombele as well. Obviously Lyon got him permanently last summer. I think it was for around just over £7 million, because obviously the year before I think Lyon had him. I think Lyon had him for one season on loan as well. But yeah, he's under contract with Lyon till 2023. Is Tanguy Ndombele as well. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on. So we could see him as a replacement for Ander Herrera. Potential, I think we definitely need a centre defensive midfielder, of course. That's fast and tenacious as well. Because Matic isn't reliable enough. Well, let's be honest. The majority of this Manchester United squad isn't reliable enough at the moment. Matic is aging up. As I said, he's aging up. He's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him as well. So I think we're going to need a replacement for Nemanja Matic, of course, as well. And I think Declan Rice, would be the good ideal replacement, for Nemanja Matic. To be quite honest, Declan Rice is 20 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. And his performances have been very, very impressive. Especially this season under Manuel Pellegrini as well. Declan Rice, he's really, really good in that defensive midfield role. He's a good ball playing midfielder. He breaks up the play very, very well indeed, and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him as Declan Rice as well. So there has been talks about him going on. I think West Ham value him around, 40-50 million pounds or something like that. But he has been in the senior squad a couple of years now with West Ham as well as Declan Rice. He's initially a former Chelsea player. I think he joined Chelsea's youth set up at the age of 7, was it, or something like that. He was actually in Chelsea's youth set up a number of years, and then I think he got axed off at the age of 14 as well. But he's done extremely good for West Ham as Declan Rice. I think West Ham would demand that they want around £50 million for him this summer, if they are willing to do any business for him. So he's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets as well. So we could see him as a replacement for Nemanja Matic, Declan Rice. So we've been interested in quite a few midfielders, as we all know as well. 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a lot of talks about Saul Niguez as well from Atletico Madrid. There's still reports going out. This play, could be a replacement for Ander Herrera as well. There has been talks, of Everton's Idrissa Gueye as well. Idrissa Gueye is actually the same age as Ander Herrera. Idrissa Gueye is 29, Ander Herrera is 29, and if you compare them together, Ander Herrera has had better of the career than Idrissa Gueye. To be quite honest, but we know Ander Herrera, of course, is going. But Idrissa Gueye, has done really, really well with Everton. I've analysed some of his performances, and they've been very, very impressive indeed. He's a good, energetic midfielder. He can break up the play very, very well. He's good at pressing opponents as well as Idrissa Gueye. I think this is now his 3rd season. Is it with Everton? He's going into his 4th season now with Everton. He's 29 years of age. I think he's a Senegal international as well. Obviously, the majority of his appearances in the Premier League have also become as an Everton player. He is a former Aston Villa player. Where I think he did serve only 1 season with Villa as well. Did Idrissa Gueye. But I think Everton got him in 2016 for just, over £7 million. Everton triggered a release clause in Idrissa Gueye's contract, and I think Everton paid just over £7 million for him as well. He got a contract back in February of last year, so I think he got his contract extended until 2022. Did Idrissa Gueye as well. And reports were saying that a while back, saying that Idrissa Gueye could be available for a reasonable figure this summer. He could be available for around 25-30 million pounds this summer as well. But PSG, inquired about getting him in January. But PSG, of course, had quite a few bids turned down for him as well. But yeah, just again, as I said, do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield? Don't forget, he's Premier League proven, of course, because he has been in the Premier League, quite a few years now as Idrissa Gueye. So we could identify him as a replacement for Ander Herrera as well. So we've been interested in quite a few midfielders, to be quite honest with you. But as I did say, recent reports are now saying that Solskjaer wants to wrap up deals for, the Portuguese duo, Bruno Fernandes of Sporting Lisbon, Joe Felix of Benfica as well, and reportedly they'll cost Man United in total of around £150 million as well. So the Solskjaer, basically, wants to get this done as well. Other news, of course, as well, Antonio Valencia now has reportedly, recovered from injury, and now Antonio Valencia has reportedly, returned back to training as well. These reports coming out saying that he could participate in these 2 remaining games for Manchester United, of course, Antonio Valencia, because he hasn't really had the chance this season, as we all know, because obviously, he's been out injured. I think he's just recovered from a calf injury as Valencia as well. But obviously, we've got to give him at least a farewell appearance, as we all know, because obviously it's looking very, very likely that Valencia is going to be leaving Manchester United this summer, of course, when his contract term expires as well, because we do know Manchester United opted against a decision to give him that new 1-year extension as well. This is now Valencia's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been here a decade, and I've admired his fantastic career with Manchester United, because he has been good over the years. Of course, he's grown, developed, and flourished, fantastically well, as well as Antonio Valencia, and he is now age 33, as we all know as well. So he could be participating in these 2 remaining games as well. But obviously, right back's another position, of course, where Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up, and obviously, we're going to need a replacement for Antonio Valencia as well, and obviously, we need an upgrade as well to Ashley Young. We need some aggression on that right hand side. We need some intensity on that right hand side as well. So Valencia, though, could be, as I said, could be participating in these 2 remaining games as well. But as I did currently say, so as I said, Ashley Young, should leave Manchester United in the summer as well, should Ashley Young, it was bad business from the club, giving Ashley Young, that new 1-year extension as well, that was bad business from Manchester United, and he is 33 now, is Ashley Young, by the time his new 1-year extension expires, he'll be nearly 35, because he's nearly now 34, is Ashley Young as well, and I've admired his career, he's been a good servant to the club, this is now his 8th season at Manchester United, Ashley Young's as well, but he was a good winner back in the day, don't get me wrong, he was a good winner back in the day, but he definitely needs to be dropped for these 2 remaining games, does Ashley Young as well, but he's too easily predictable now, he gets exploited far too easily as well, but yeah, he needs to be dropped, and we need to get rid of Ashley Young this summer, he's far too old now, to be quite honest with you as well, and Diego Dalot, should be in contention, of these 2 remaining games, because Diego Dalot, I think we got him from Porto, was it last summer, for around £19 million or something like that. Diego Dalot, I think he's still in the process of developing, to be quite honest, because he's only young, he's only 19, 20 years of age, as I said, he's Diego Dalot, but for me, we still need a cover up for Diego Dalot in that right back position as well. Diego Dalot quite a few times, sometimes he's played at left back, sometimes he's played in more of an attacking role as well. When he has played, he has been quite impressive as Diego Dalot as well, but I think we need to use him a bit more often, to be quite honest with you as well, but maybe for these 2 remaining games anyway, as I said, we should drop the problematic players and give the youngsters an opportunity as well, and fair play to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When he came in, when he first came in, when he first came in, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he did say he was going to give everybody the chance, including the young players, the fringe players, and this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done as well. But obviously, we definitely need a right back as well. Recent reports have just come out about Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. So now reportedly we could miss out on Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka reportedly. Now I think he's fully committed to Crystal Palace. Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well, and I think he'll probably still be at Crystal Palace next season. Recent reports said that Manchester United have been interested in him. Of course, he's 21 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well, and he's thrived under Roy Hodgson as well as Aaron Wan-Bissaka of course, and he's only very, very young indeed, as I did say, valued at around £35-40 million or something like that as well. So there has been a lot of talks about Aaron Wan-Bissaka going on as well, but I think he does actually want to stay at Crystal Palace according to the media as well. So now obviously there's other targets, there's been quite a few other right backs who Manchester United have been interested in as well. Potentially, as we all do know, there's been a lot of talks about PSG Thomas Meunier as well, and Thomas Meunier is a good player. He's a highly experienced fullback as well. He can play in other positions, so he is versatile. Is Thomas Meunier. His defensive abilities are very, very good. He can score goals, he can provide as well, and he's 27 years of age. I think he's also quite tall as well. But recent reports did say that PSG want around £20 million for him this summer as well, because obviously he hasn't signed a new contract with PSG, Thomas Meunier as well. But as I did say, Thomas Meunier I think he's been at PSG a number of years now. You know, he has won quite a few honours as well. I think he's a former Club Brugge player. Sorry guys, I've just that. Is Thomas Meunier as well. So yeah, so I think he's got about 13-14 months left on his contract. Recent reports did say that Arsenal and Chelsea were also interested in Thomas Meunier as well. You know, reports came out the other day saying that Manchester United were interested in Tottenham's Kieran Trippier as well. So he also got spoken about as well. So we definitely have got to get a right back in as well. Obviously we know we need to get a central defender in as well. You know, someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line as well. Because to be fair, you know, I've analysed Lindelof's performances this season and they have been very, very impressive indeed. He struggled in his first season, you know, the Victor Lindelof, you know, didn't really settle in, you know, to be quite true, but this season his performances have been very, very impressive indeed. But we need someone that can go alongside him, you know, we need a world-class central defender because we haven't had one, you know, since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand, of course, as well. So we do basically, you know, need one as well. You know, there has been quite a few names mentioned, as we all know. We do know Man United have been long admirers of Napoli's Koulibaly and all that. Obviously now it may be hard for us to get Koulibaly even more now, considering that we're not probably going to have Champions League football for next season as well. You know, there's still a possibility, you know, that we could get him. You know, whether it'll happen or not, I do not know. You know, the rumours do continue to persist about it as well. But obviously, if we've got any chances anyway, Manchester United, of course, have got to pay a world record fee for him, and we have got the financial power, you know, to meet his valuation as well. But we need someone to come in to address our defensive deficiencies as well. But you know, we've got a much cheaper alternative. You know, Tottenham. There's been a lot of talks about Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld as well. Toby Alderweireld, you know, there has been a lot of talks about him, you know, going on. Manchester United were linked to him last summer, of course. You know, Toby Alderweireld is available for around £25 million this summer as well. And, you know, there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure. You know, maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, of course, you know, because we need, you know, we've got to, you know, get that recruitment this summer, because let's be honest, you know, our recruitment policy is very, very poor indeed. But Alderweireld, as I said, he's nowhere near on the same levels as the likes of the Koulibalys or the Rafael Varanes, the Sergio Ramoses, the Diego Gordons and all that. But, you know, he's still a pretty decent player, is Alderweireld. As I said, he's not on the same level as them players I've just mentioned to you, but he's available for around £25 million as well. He's mainly a central defender. I think he can also play as a right back as well, can Alderweireld, but I still think he'd be a good upgrade in our defence of what we've currently got at the moment. He's well Premier League proven, and I think, as I just said, I think he'd be a good leader in our backline, and I think he'd blend in very, very well alongside Lindelof. Don't get me wrong, now I have got reservations about Alderweireld, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. I've got reservations about him now. He's 30 years of age now. He's aging up. He has lost that yard of pace as well. So I think he does want to leave Tottenham, because obviously, you know, he's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham as well, Alderweireld. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on as well. But it's essential that we do get a central defender in as well. You know what's going on with David De Gea, as I currently said now. Basically, there's quite a few Manchester United fans, you know, saying that David De Gea, of course, you know, should be dropped for these two remaining games as well. You know, based on the recent mistakes he has been making for Manchester United as well, David De Gea. Whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got any intentions of dropping David De Gea or not, I do not know. But he has been making quite a lot of mistakes recently, you know. And is that just, you know, I don't know why he's been doing this, you know, De Gea, to be quite honest. Is it something to do with a contract issue, as I said? You know, doesn't he want to be at Manchester United anymore? You know, does he want to leave, you know, to play to the highest level? And does he want to, you know, be up there? Does he want to be up there challenging and winning trophies? Of course, and obviously he's experiencing this at the moment at Manchester United as well. But recent reports have come out about David De Gea as well, saying that Manchester United are reportedly willing to offer him around £300,000 a week, you know, for him to agree a new contract at the club. But reportedly, you know, David De Gea is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week from Manchester United if he is to sign a new contract with the club as well. But now, as I did say, you know, people are saying, you know, maybe we should put Sergio Romero into contention for these two remaining games, of course. And I don't know if Romero is reliable enough, you know, to become our number one goalkeeper. But I analysed his performances in the FA Cup, and you know, they were very, very impressive indeed with his performances as well, Sergio Romero's. So yeah, maybe we should put him into contention, you know, for these two remaining games. But David De Gea, of course, is attracting interest, you know, from the likes of PSG. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid have been long admirers of David David De Gea as well. I heard that reports were coming out the other day saying that PSG were willing to offer David De Gea a £450,000 a week contract. So that's potentially more than double of what he's currently on at the moment with Manchester United, because he's on £200,000 a week at the moment with Manchester United as well as David De Gea. He is still under contract here till the summer of 2020, because last year Manchester United activated a 12-month extension as well. But don't get me wrong, he's been a good servant to the club as David De Gea. Wait there, guys. Hi guys, sorry, I am back. I just needed to go to the toilet and all that as well. So yeah, as I was saying about David De Gea, so yeah, potentially, maybe some Man United fans are saying, we should drop him, for these two remaining games as well. But if Man United had to, get rid of him this summer, and of course if we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, obviously, we want to cash him in this summer, rather than let him go on a free transfer at the end in the summer of 2020 as well. So yeah, he should be dropped for the two remaining games as well. These being a lot of United fans say, Mason Greenwood, should be given the opportunity as well, because he's been very, very impressive for the reserves as Mason Greenwood. Basically, I heard that Rashford has sustained another injury. He reportedly said that he came off against Chelsea with some kind of a shoulder injury as well. So it did say Rashford, could actually miss the game. Rashford, as I did say, he definitely needs a reality check, to be quite honest with Marcus Rashford, because at least in the last couple of months, his performances have been way below par for Manchester United as well of Marcus Rashford. But Rashford has not graduated to that level yet, and I think it could take him at least a couple of years, Rashford, to graduate to that level as well. Rashford's only 21, he's got immense talent, he's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well. And so he has been attracting interest from the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid have been interested in Rashford as well. But he's been United player since the age of 7. He's progressed up the ranks fantastically well. As I said, he's been in the senior squad with Manchester United, of course, since 2016 as well. But his performances have got to really, really improved. And I know he has sustained quite a few injuries. It's probably taken its toll on him. It's had a bad effect on his game as well. But we do know what Rashford can be capable of as well. So I think it did say he's got a shoulder injury. It did say he could miss the game. But a lot of United fans are saying, that we should, give Mason Greenwood the chance as well. But the likes of Martial, has been underperforming him as well. I've been very disappointed with Martial. Anthony Martial, Anthony Martial, as I said, he was in really, really good form earlier on this season. He was scoring goals, he was providing, but at least in the last couple of months, Martial has really, really failed to replicate that, to be quite honest with him as well. So I've been very, very disappointed in Anthony Martial. Jesse Lingard, I've been very, very disappointed in him as well, because he's supposed to know what it's all about. Jesse Lingard is 27 years of age, as we all know. But as I did currently say, again, at least in the last couple of months, Jesse Lingard has been very, very disappointing indeed as well. So that trio of Lingard, Martial and Rashford, they are the short-term problem at the moment. They are still they are still a long-term solution, don't get me wrong, they're definitely the long-term solution as well. But yeah, a lot of United fans are saying, maybe we should give Mason Greenwood the opportunity as well. Potentially, as I did quickly say, the other players that I think are going to leave United in the summer, Lukaku, I think, he should be going in the summer. There has been a lot of talks of Lukaku leaving Manchester United this summer as well. Lukaku, for me, he just isn't reliable enough, to be quite honest. I've got reservations about him, even though he's only 25 years of age, he's in his prime still, he's got a lot of years ahead of him, I just don't think he can continue as a Manchester United player, because initially Rashford's first choice ever ahead of him anywhere, but for me, Lukaku doesn't get enough them runs in behind, he's too slow, as I did say, his finishing lets him down as well, so he hasn't really got that finishing asset as Romelu Lukaku, but his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. He has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League as well, but when it comes to playing to the highest level and coming up against big teams, he's a big game bottle of them as well, so I don't think he's got the capabilities at Manchester United to graduate to that next level as well, because he's not reliable enough, Romelu Lukaku as well. Manchester United paid £75 million for him, plus 15 million in add-ons as well, which had risen it up to £90 million. Lukaku's still got 3 years left on his contract. I think he's on about £250,000 a week as well. Obviously, as we all do currently know, he's attracting interest from the likes of Juventus, Inter Milan and all that. And I think he's keen on making the move to Italy, is Romelu Lukaku. I think his preferred destination, would actually, be Juventus as well. But obviously, if Lukaku goes, obviously, we're going to need a replacement for Romelu Lukaku as well. There has been a lot of talks of Romelu Lukaku and Mario Icardi as a potential swap deal as well. And I do really, really like Mario Icardi, to be quite honest with you. But it doesn't mean because he's done really, really well in Italy, the number of years he's been at Inter Milan, it doesn't mean he's going to replicate the same element of the performances, that he has been doing in the number of years he's been at Inter Milan. But if he comes to the Premier League, as I just basically, said, it doesn't mean he's going to replicate the element of the performances that he's been doing in Italy as well. So it doesn't mean he's going to do the same in the Premier League of what he's been doing in Italy these number of years as well. But Icardi, as I said, I do really, really like Mario Icardi, to be quite honest. I've got some reservations about him. Some of his touches concern me. When it comes to his defensive abilities, that concerns me as well. But this Mario Icardi, can score goals. Of course, the majority of his goals have obviously come into Milan as well. I think he scored like over 100 odd goals for Inter Milan as Mario Icardi as well. But as they currently say, a lot of these rumours, have been stemming from Di Marzio, of course, as I said. He believes that Manchester United could swap Lukaku for Mario Icardi this summer. So he believes this will process Di Marzio. Di Marzio is a very, reliable journalist, of course, in relation to Manchester United especially. And when it does come to a transfer talk as well, he's very, very reliable indeed. So I do listen to a lot of what, Di Marzio says when he reveals stuff as well. And his narratives are very, very trustworthy indeed, when he, puts a report out and stuff. But he believes this will happen anyway, Di Marzio, Lukaku and Icardi is a potential swap deal. Icardi, for me, I think is like Inter Milan's is in 9th highest top goal scorer of all time as well. I think he has got a release clause of around £100 million in his deal with Inter Milan as well as Icardi. But I do really, really like him. He's an efficient finisher, he's got endless potential, he can score loads and loads of goals as well. So do you think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda if he was to come in? He's 26 years of age, he's still got quite a lot of years ahead of him as well. So I think he'd probably, be the right solution for Manchester United with Icardi. So do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our attacking line, Icardi, if he was to come in as well? So I think, it'd be a good swap deal. I think it'd be beneficial for both clubs, obviously, because Inter Milan don't even want Icardi now. They're obviously looking for a replacement for him. And obviously, if Lukaku leaves, we're going to want a replacement for Lukaku as well. So I think both teams, will benefit from this if this Lukaku and Icardi, swap deal, goes through as well. But as I did currently say, Sanchez definitely, needs to leave Manchester United in the summer as well. Alexis Sanchez, not good enough for Manchester United, as I said. Obviously, he's the highest paid player in the Premier League. He's is the highest paid player at the club as well. But for me, Sanchez is definitely not good enough to be quite honest. And Sanchez may have to take some kind of wage cut this summer, because I don't know if there will be any teams that can afford to pay his wages off as well. But he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, of course, as well. He's just recently recovered from a knee injury. I think he's been at Manchester United about 15-16 months now, as Alexis Sanchez as well. But when he's played, he just looks so inconsistent. It just looks so he hasn't been getting that freedom out, Alexis Sanchez as well. But yeah, he's been very, very poor indeed. And plus, he's no future at the club. He's no longer playing to the highest level as well. So yeah, I want him out in the summer as well. Juan Mata, as I said, I really, really like Juan Mata. He has been a good servant to Manchester United. Of course, he's just turned 31 years of age as well as Juan Mata. He's well Premier League proven. Don't get me wrong. Recent reports have been coming out saying that if he is if he is to make the move to Barcelona this summer, Juan Mata more than likely will have to take a wage cut on his £170,000 a week wages as well. But I think he's keen on making a return back to Spain, because he had a lot of experience of playing in Spain when he was younger, Juan Mata as well. But yeah, he's done really, really well in the Premier League. I know he can't really get in the team now at Manchester United, of course, but I still really, really like him, of course. But he isn't playing to the highest level anymore. He has lost that yard of pace as well. But over the years, he has been very, very good indeed as Juan Mata as well. So when his contract expires, it's likely he's going to be leaving as well. As I stated, say, Darmian doesn't have a future at the club as well. Darmian's endured a very, very difficult time here as a Manchester United player as well. Matteo Darmian. So I think he's going to be on his way out. I think Manchester United triggered the extension. Of course, we did trigger that extension, so we can cash in for the player this summer. If we can, get rid of him as well. But he's endured a very, very difficult time here. I think he's just recovered from long-term absence as well, Matteo Darmian. But I think mainly, I've already identified the areas, where I think my club, Manchester United, does need to strengthen up. But I think the left-hand side, more or less okay, to be quite honest, because that's where the majority of our attack is coming from, that left-hand side as well. And Luke Shaw is obviously our first choice left-back, and, Luke Shaw settled in very, very well, to be quite honest. He obviously is our first choice left-back, but I think he's very reliable on that left-hand side. He shows that ability, he can play out from the back. He makes them overlapping runs as well as Luke Shaw. He's been here a number of years now as Luke Shaw, so I think on that left hand side, I think more or less we are okay as well. But as I did currently say, yeah, I think also Marcus Rojo is also on his way out of Manchester United as well, because Marcus Rojo, for me, has endured a very, very difficult time here. Obviously, he doesn't really get the chance anyway. He has sustained, quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, so he has struggled with his fitness regime, and, most recently, he just recovered from long-term absence as well. So we are expected, to orchestrate a big summer clear out as well. But if we can sell the likes of Lukaku and Pogba this summer, it will help us with our transition. We could cash in around £200 million if we can sell Lukaku and if we can sell Paul Pogba as well. So yeah, as I did currently say, yeah, so the main part of this video was to give you an update in relation to Bruno Fernandes and Joao Felix, the Portuguese duo, both young as well. Reportedly Solskjaer wants to wrap up deals, for these Portuguese duo as well, and reportedly Bruno Fernandes and Joao Felix could cost us around £150 million in total as well. So there has been a lot of narratives, going on about that today as well. I want to give you guys an update on obviously Manchester United got Huddersfield coming up. I think the preview will either be coming up for that either tonight, later on tonight, or it will be tomorrow or sometime as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.